directory object and child domain controller. Post this discussion we will start. Okay, so whenever we are, generally what we did, this is a very good practice. Whenever you will install these servers, run the sysprep. So that after run the sysprep, you have to set the administrator password by default, right? If you are not doing this, then you have to go to the computer management. From there you have to set that administrator, right? Now that administrator, after you promote that DC, it will become a built-in domain administrator. You got my point? And that users will be promoted as a domain users. But this user do not have any rights. You can go to that particular user members and give them domain admin rights, but after that this person will work. If you are not doing this, you want to create your own users, then you have to ignore this, because your servers will by default, will take this kind of account. So it will create a hell lot of problems. Whenever you will promote the domain controllers, it will create hell lot of problems if you are not given that rights. So better once you have promote the domain controllers within then you have to log in with the administrator, install the roles, then configure, and then also you change that permission. Even today we also do the same things. We will have a lot of things today. We will again install the domain controller. You will see end to end where is the problem. Just ask me question. So my screen is visible to everyone?
Yeah, it's visible to me. I have a question as well.
Yes, please.
So basically I did the same thing, but my machine, the parent machine, the machine that I created earlier, I just clone it and then I start sysprep, and the both time when I created the account or domain controller, both time I was logged in by default administrative privileges. I don't have formula and the account like as you said. So in the both cases.
Okay, so while I am doing this practical today, just ask me question, just stop me where you have problems, then I will mitigate your problem, okay?
So it was not a problem. When I installed the domain controller, or when I installed the machine, by default I was logged in as the administrator, local administrator of the machine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is
when I promoted to the domain controller, so it was the local administrator was also have the same privileges as the domain admin.
Exactly, local administrator will be promoted to domain administrator. You got my point. Now if you are the part of this domain administrator groups, then you will become a super user in your domain. Clear?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Perfect, guys. So let's start our today topic, which is, last week we did domain controller promotions. That means we have created the domain, we have promoted the domain controller, as well as we have promoted additional domain controller, right? Perfect. Now we little bit know about the domain concept. Now we little bit know about the domain concept. Now today we will explore more on this, okay? So now first of all, understand what is AD object, Active Directory objects. This is very vital things. So let me draw these things. Okay, let me draw these things first. Okay, the first in Active Directory there is a two kind of object. Okay, so AD object, there is a two kind of object. First one is container object, and second one is leaf object. Leaf object. Now guys, tell me, what do you mean by container object? What do you mean by leaf object? Who can tell me? I'm just checking your IQ level, that's it. What do you mean by container object? What do you mean by leaf object? What do you mean by container object and what do you mean by leaf object? What do you mean by component?
What I understand, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so container means parent object, leaf means child object.
No. What do you mean by container? What do you mean by container? To
It
contain.
contains all information.
Exactly. So container object means will contain other object, right? So in whole Active Directory, which is the bigger container object? It will be asked question in interview. In Active Directory, which one is the bigger container object? The answer is forest. Now my question, what is forest? The forest is basically a collection of domain. The forest is basically a collection of domain. This is the largest object in Active Directory. Fine. Then what is the next content object? Next content object is domain. Now what domain contains? Before domain we miss one thing, that is tree. So what tree contain? Tree also contain, so forest contain trees. This is a tree, I was wrong, but this is a tree and this is also a subtree. Tree contains domain. Tree contains different domain. Next is domain. What domain contains? Domain contains group, AD group, Active Directory Security Group, OU, organization unit, that's it. User, computer, and other leaf object. Now if you explore this domain, what you are getting? Groups and OU. What group can contain? Okay, I am just going to there. What group contain? Sorry, what OU contain? OU can contain group and user, computer. What group contain? Group also contain user and computer. So last two objects, user and computer, that cannot contain anyone. So these two are leaf object. Is that clear? Is that clear or not? Is that clear or not?
Yes.
Perfect. So this is how Active Directory object works here. As you know, forest means what? Whenever you are creating your first domain, okay, so basically it's called your first domain as well as forest. Let's say domain name is hp.com, then hp.com forest as well, right? hp.com forest as well. Now in hp.com having subchild domain, okay, let's say one of the subchild franchisor is in UK and he have created his domain under hp.com with uk.hp.com. One of the franchisor is in US, he have created a domain us.hp.com. Same as well as in India, ind.hp.com. So forest contain domain or forest contain trees. Tree means it's become a huge. So in hp.com itself having uk.hp.com itself has some New York.uk London.uk.hp.com or Amsterdam.uk.hp.com. So different subchild, but this is how it works. So any question from this Active Directory users and object?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, please.
So basically, everything will come under the forest. Under the forest, there is multiple trees or domains. So the trees and domain are the same thing, right?
Tree means what? Tree means the collection of domains.
Domains, right. So I mean, there are multiple domains or multiple trees under the forest.
Exactly.
In the yes, and in the domains, as you know, we have just like domain, as you know, like. So here, hp.com is a tree or domain, and the uk.hp.com is an individual domain, right?
Okay, so here the basic concept I'm telling you. Let's say there is a person name is Charles C. Adams. So Charles Adams is the family. He's the person's. From his name, his son name is Henson Adams. The Henson is a different man, but following his parent name. Now from Henson, his son name is Robert R. Adams. So Adams, their family name. Who was created? Charles was created. Now Charles almost died, or Charles is no longer available in this world. But the domain name still inheriting by his son and then child, grandson this way. So the same concept here. You got my point? Now H and Adams having multiple child, right? And that multiple child have their multiple son, and that multiple son have their multiple son. So this is how the family is replicating. So this is also family, right? This is also family. Any question? Any question?
No, all clear.
Perfect. So last week we did AD promotions. That means whenever we have created a domain, the domain name was hp.com, and what we did, we have created ADC, that means additional domain controller. That means just create additional domain controller of hp.com. That means let's say this is a domain dc01.hp.com, and this is what dc02.hp.com. Now anyone ask question, what is the purpose of additional domain controller? So basically the purpose of the domain controller is authenticating you. That means in your office, whenever you are working in your office, I'm not telling you working from home, whenever you are in office, so you are working in the office, sometime you logged in, sometime you log off, log in, log off. Every time the request come to your logon server. So in case your logon server not reachable, you will get trust relationship error. Then the time you will receive the message, your laptop is not able to communicate your logon servers, and that's the reason you will not be able to log in. Your trust relationship is break. So that is the logon server means what? Your domain controllers it's allowing you authentication every moment whenever you are logging. So whenever you are working, fine, we'll just go outside for breaking, taking some smoking and all, and then after come back, once you try to log in again the request come back to domain controller is in verifying and you are logging. So like 50 users in my office, 50 users simultaneously they are logging, log off, doing. And the same things, the loads are coming here, huge. The CPU is getting too much of high, memory is getting too much of high, and as a result every time user are getting delayed logon. So what their IT administrator do, they say, boss, I have a one domain controller and our users are increasing day by day. Now this only domain controllers not be handled or capable to give them all authentication request. So in that scenario we have added additional domain controller. So in that case the load will be evaluate and it will be changed to simultaneously divided the load, so that that logon authentication delay was quite be normal. Again your user are increasing, again you are increasing your additional domain controller, right? This is how your additional domain controller is increasing. Perfect. So this was good. This was, we understood that additional domain controller is helping the primary domain controller. That's is
So
good.
do you have any
Sorry.
number of user repetition?
Sorry.
Like 1000 user one.
Yes, please.
1000 user one domain controller. How many user domain controller can be created? Minimum, maximum number of users.
Enormous number. N number of user you can create in Active Directory database.
Anonymous.
N numbers. If whenever any organizations will be
For
created,
example,
whenever any organization is created, so any organization have any restricted that,
please proceed.
whenever any organization is created, that organization have any restrictions that they only can hire 50 people, they cannot be in growing in 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. Even the MNCs like Accenture, Wipro, TCS, all over, they have around 5 lakhs users, 6 lakhs users, 7 lakhs users in their business time. How come it's possible? If this is having limitation, then the business will not grow. So your user is increasing, your Active Directory database is also increasing, and that Active Directory database is quite often not a single level database. Every domain controller they have a database. Got my point? Because whatever here in this particular database, the same also replicated here, same also replicated here, same also replicated here. As a result, in this database, if this database is crash, no matter, this will activate. This will activate. That is why it's called distributed model, distributed database. Active Directory is a distributed database. Clear?
Right.
I have two questions.
Yes, please.
So the first question is that the additional DC is, first of all, we use the additional DC to load balancing. Of course, when we have many number of users to fulfill the request of a user, we have full DC as well. And the other reason of that additional DC is that if the DC1 is down, then the DC2 will take place of the users.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly. See, I'm telling you, whenever you are creating your fast domain controller, that means fast domain or fast forest. So this fast domain controller also have a 5 roles installed. Today I will tell you that role. It's called the FSMO role. It's called the FSMO role. Okay. Flexible single master role. These are actually the heart of the Active Directory database. If these roles are not working or not reachable, your Active Directory is finished. None of the user cannot works. Each and individual roles having each and individual significant works. We will learn each and everything today about these rules. So whenever your first domain controller is built, all 5 roles will be as it is installed here. even after the after the additional domain controller there, the roles remain live in that particular servers. Now what happened? Whenever this particular DC is down, whenever this particular DC is down, then you have to seize that role from here. You have to seize that role from here, and then you have to implant here, and then only this servers will work again as it is. Fine?
I have a question. At any point of time, in any operation, the SMO role will have at the same time we can have on two different DC, or it will always depend on one DC.
The 5 different role you can place 5 different DC. The 5 different role you can place in 5 different DC. But if you place that 5 roles in 5 different DC, now think of it, none of the DC you can shut down. So better you have to bring this all 5 roles in a specific domain
Okay.
controller.
And
Because
can we have these 5 rows on two DC at the same time?
no, what I'm telling you whenever your fast domain controller is built, that 5 roles comes to that particular domain machines. Okay, so in this particular 5 roles will not be available here. Now if you do the manual role transfer, then it's okay, but by default it is be hosted in the primary DC.
Yes. By default, it should be. It is by default. It is in the primary DC. But for example, I have two DC, DC1, DC2. I want to these 5 roles in DC1 and DC2 in both. Is it possible?
No,
Okay.
5 roles in your same domain. If your domain name is hp.com, then hp.com have a 5 roles. Clear? If you have a domain name hp.com, then hp.com have only the 5 roles. Now if you have a child domain controller uk.hp.com, then primary 2 roles, like first 2 roles will be the same, that is forest wide. Rest of 3 will be jump to child domains. Now let's understand what are the 3 roles. That will be it's a very integral part in Active Directory. Without this, you cannot even works. Okay, you have to understand what the things is that. The 5 roles are, first one is schema admin. Schema admin. Second one is domain naming master or schema master. PDC emulator, infra infrastructure. Oh my god, what happened? Infrastructure these are the 5 roles. Now my question, who can tell me, just wanted to check your IQ level, why there is a gap between this 2 and this 3? Gloria, why I make the gap between this 2 and this 3? Any opinion? Any?
Schema master and domain naming master, this is the main, this is the master, and it is the infrastructure and RIB, these are the slaves. Means schema master, it is the main actually, as far as I know. I can understand.
Anyone else?
I think the schema master is the DB. The DB is created when we create the domain, and the schema that DB contains all the information about the forest. That's why it is the primary domain, and it cannot be transferred to other. I think the first two, the schema master and the domain naming master. The rest we can transfer and perhaps it does not contain that crucial information about the forest, perhaps.
Partially okay. Anyone try? Anyone should try? Sunil?
Schema master, last one.
My question is, what is the why I am giving gap between schema master, domain naming master, and then PD simulator infrastructure model?
Forest wide rules and domain wide rules.
Who giving that answer?
Lesson.
Awesome. So this two means I have given that between this is the forest wide replication, this is the domain wise replication. That means let's say you have a domain, it's hp.com. And this hp.com, whenever it's built, that's all 5 roles are as it is. All 5 roles are there. In the same domain machines. Now, later on you decide, you have to create child domain due to your franchisee, and the child domain name is uk.hp.com. Then you know what happened. Only this 2 role will copy and place here, not replace, just copy and place here. Now in uk.hp.com will have only PD simulator, infrastructure master, RID master, but the parent domain still have schema master and domain naming master, as well as parent domain also have the 5 roles. Try to understand, parent domain also have the 5 roles. Okay, let me mention here, or else it will be get a problem. Also add this in the 5 roles, but in child domain only have 3 roles. What 3 roles? These 3 roles. That is what I'm telling. This is called forest wide. This is an interview question. Do you know FSMO role? Then you say yes, flexible single master operations role. What is FSMO role? It's flexible single master operations role. Now they will ask you question. What do you mean by flexible? Flexible means any users or administrator can manage the roles any of the domain controller within the forest. That is why it's flexible. Okay. Now my question, which one are forest wide and which one are domain wide? Then answer is schema master, domain naming master is the forest wide, and that PD simulator infrastructure master is domain wide. What does it means? That means if you have a multi-domain forest, that means let's say you have a forest is hp.com and you have a child domain uk.hp.com, then your hp.com will have as it is 5 roles. You got my point? Now in uk.hp.com only have 3 roles, that is PD simulator, infrastructure master and RID master. Is this clear or not? Everything I will tell you, brothers, everything I will make you in practical, I will show you. I am just understanding you the theory concept. Understand the theory concept. I will, after this theory part, I will go to the practicals and showing you. Okay? Just understand the theory part. Any question, any doubt as of now? Any questions, any doubt as of now?
All clear to me.
Perfect. I think everyone is know. Okay, guys, let's understand each and individual role. Okay?
One doubt.
Yes, please.
In ADC also there will be only 3 roles?
That is I'm telling you. ADCs look like this. So if you have a ADC, it's look like this. It's normally connected to a domain controller, but none of the roles were there until and unless you move them manually.
Okay.
So primary domain controller, that is what I'm telling you, primary domain controller and additional domain controller. Primary domain controller, why? Because they are hosting all 5 roles, FSMO roles. Additional domain controller is there. It's helping the primary domain controller, but hearts is located only the primary domain controller. These are the hearts. You got my point?
Yes.
It's like a Active Directory hearts. Okay, so now let's understood the basic criteria of how it works. I mean each and individual forest how it's work. I mean roles how it's work. Okay, the schema master. What do you mean by the schema? I mean what do you mean by the basic structure of schema? What do you mean by schema? Anyone? Just try. I'm expecting that you will tell the wrong. If you tell the wrong, then we'll understand that correct one. If you say quiet, then never learn. That's why I'm asking everyone. What do you mean by schema?
Schema is like a framework or like the basic architecture of any database. When I'm telling you in terms of database, so it is the basic architecture of anything or a framework.
Partially okay, but not correct. Anyone?
Schema is the structure of trading.
Sorry?
Schema is the structure of trading which contains the definitions of objects.
Excellent. Schema is basically the attributes or structure of the optic directory objects. So how then, what do you mean by that? Let's say I am creating one users. So did you guys often see whenever we are creating user, what the information will do? We'll first of all need, enter first name, next is SAN account name, third one is descriptions, fourth one is address. It's look like this, right? It's look like this, right? So this is a structure of the Active Directory object. Now if I want that while I'm entering the object in schema, I need there will be my photo. That means not photo, user photo will there. Will I able to do that? Will I able to do that? Yes or no? Yes or no? What happened? I am asking while I am creating the users, if I supposed to be add user photo there, will I able to do it or not?
No.
No. If we will not define it as attribute, we cannot do this. For that we need to define it.
Exactly. Because defined schema already defined the architecture or the structure of the object, and through this object I have to insert the data over here. If we don't follow the structure, my data will not insert in the Active Directory database. So schema, it's nothing but a structure of this Active Directory object. But yes, I can add photo. For that reason, I have to upgrade my schema attribute. You got my point? If anything, not only this, anything I can do in schema, even instead of photo I can add it here in some country name as well, or some other attribute as well. How? In that case I have to upgrade the schema. But if these particular roles it not reachable, so you cannot upgrade the schema. You cannot upgrade schema. Got my point? It's got my point. Clear?
Yes.
Perfect.
The schema is already defined.
Schema is basically structure of the object which is already defined. Now the user, whenever you are creating any object, you have to enter the details based on the defined schema there. Okay, like username, we are creating one user object. So first time you have to enter the first name, last name, account name, descriptions, like that. Now in your existing schema or existing structure won't allow you any kind of future modification. In case if you need to modification, then you have to upgrade the schema master. But during this upgradation, if this particular role is not available or reachable, you will not be able to upgrade your schema master, sorry, your Optic Data objects. Is that clear or not? Let me show you in practical, that will be a more understanding. So
I mean, you are saying if there is an object user and he don't update his picture and you want to upgrade the attribute, it will not be possible, right?
yes, let me open that DC and I will show you. This is my existing infrastructure. I will again delete this one and I will show you that part. Don't worry. Let me show you that part. Okay. So as I told, this is my primary domain controller that I mentioned here, root DC. So in root DC, as I told, my domain name is bd.com. Okay, my domain name is bd.com. Okay, my domain name is bd.com, and this particular, whenever I have created that server, this is my primary domain controller, this is my additional domain controller. I'll show you here how many domain controller you are showing there. If I go to the domain controller, you are getting how many domain controller? RODC, leave it, don't count RODC. That means root DC and ADC. Am I right? Root DC and ADC. So, as per Sunil asked me question, if you have a 5 roles, where this role are hosted? This is definitely hosted on primary DC. If I run this command, netdom query fsmo, you will see that all the roles are hosted on primary domain controllers. Root DC1, the same thing if I run here, my additional domain controller, the same things is netdom query fsmo you will see that everything is running on my root DC. Then my question is clear that I told you the first primary domain has hosted all 5 roles. Additional domain controller will not be hosted any of the roles until unless you manually move. That I will tell you, don't worry. So my question, let's say how that, let's I'm creating one users, right? So let's I'm creating one users. Now while I'm creating the users, just see, this is the structure of the Active Directory object. So in this structure I have to enter my data, then only Active Directory database will accept the data through schema. This is the schema already defined, and this way I have to enter the object. Now if I want to add anything here, let's say user photo will be there, I'll not be able to update, I'll not be able to add it until and unless I have to do the schema upgrade. But in schema upgrade will possible whenever this role is reachable. This role is reachable means that particular server where this role is there, that particular server should works. Then only this role will work, or else not possible. Is that clear or not? Is that clear or not? Clear? Any doubt, ask me. Any doubt, ask me. It is very complex thing. Any doubt, please ask me, guys.
So in the entire forest, only one domain controller will have all data.
Sorry?
So in the entire forest, is there any chance that 2-3 domain controllers have the same FSM role?
What I told right now, I told any single domain only have 5 roles. You can, if you have a, you know, go on mute please. If you have a 5 domain controller, so you can place each role, each of the servers. That is up to you. If you do this, then your maintenance will be high. You got my point? Because each 5 servers will be run at a time. If someone is down, then it will be a problem. That is why Microsoft recommended put 5 roles in the same servers. Single forest having 5 roles. Clear or not?
Yeah. So it can be, but the maintenance will be high. That's it.
It can be means what? What do you think by it can be? I told that you can move roles. You can move roles. It can be means 5 roles, 5 server having 5 roles. No. One server can host it one role, another server can host it another role, another server can host it another role. You can. But one single forest only have 5 roles. I think it's clear, right? Okay, what is the purpose of domain naming master? Who can say? Why I am asking this question? Because of I want to know your basic nearest answer. What do you mean by domain naming master? What is the purpose of it? Whenever, as I told, there is hp.com, you have a domain name hp.com, and you are supposed to be give them your franchisee to some other organization, but they should have their own domain, but that follow the parent domain. They have uk.hp.com. Now my question, in your existing forest you are allowing another domain to create a link between your primary domain and secondary domain. Whose approval is required? Whose approval is required? In your, if you have a big house and you interested, now you are planning that my big house I want to give them a rent to a particular hotel or travel agency. So first to whom you need to talk? You need the approval. To whom? Obviously is your father, right? Without your father approval or consent, you cannot do this. So the same thing happen here. Once ever you are creating another domain, beyond your enterprise. This is your hp.com, beyond your enterprise. You are inventing another domain. So if this particular role holder server, it's not reachable, you will not be supposed to create child or any other child domain in your forest. Is that clear or not? Is that clear or not?
Sir, once again, can you explain?
Yeah, it's clear. I mean,
Okay.
I mean, you are saying that if the domain name master is not reachable, then we are not able to create the subdomain under the main domain.
Exactly. If domain naming master role is not reachable, you will not be able to create a subdomain or child domain. This is the purpose of this domain naming master. Schema master I told, domain naming master I told. Everyone confirm that, everyone is understood. Perfect. Then I move to PDC emulator. So in PDC emulator, generally guys, you know already a domain controller what they do. They do log on, request, accept. That means they will allow you to log in and they allow you to log off. Or not log off, log in. That means the middle of thing is that whenever you are entering your user ID password, who is verified that you are the purpose, you are the domain users. Whenever you are going to the office, you are swiping your card and go inside the office premises, who verify that you are the correct office, correct users or correct employee? There is a central controller there, and that controller will verify that you are the correct persons. So the same thing happen here. Whenever you are trying to enter your user ID and password, PDC emulator role holder server will verify. That means it's flow like this, it's look like this. That means it's look like this. Let's say you are entering your laptop user ID and password. ID and password. Now you are entering your user ID. Now your logons, now your laptops, you are entering user ID password. So your laptop must have a DNS configured the NIC card. Based on the DNS, he send a request to that DNS server. Okay, boss, one person are trying to log in into the domain or infrastructure. Will I give them allow? DNS server, if this is normal additional domain controller, then he again send the request to the PDC role emulator server that boss, I have a request and my client, they say one of the person trying to enter the infrastructure, is that person's is our database. Then domain PDC emulator server will verify that person from this Active Directory. If that person is available, then PDC emulator send direct message to your computer, yes, allow them into the domain. He is our generic users or domain users. In case this additional domain controller not into the picture, your computer will send direct request to the PDC emulator. That one user trying to enter user ID password, is that users a verified user or authenticate users, and your Active Directory PDC emulator will send them yes. Okay, this was the part of part 1. That means in PDC emulator have one of the functions that he provide logon authentication or authenticate user inside the domain. One of this activity. And another activity means what? Another activity in your domain, all the computers having same time, and this based on this time many jobs are running, like SQL jobs, like batch jobs, like monitoring jobs. Now what happened in case the job, each machine is having different times or different time zones? What happened? Will the job execute at the same time? Will the any kind of monitoring will works? Your infrastructure is finished. So who is responsible to maintain the same time across the region or across the forest? Who? This is your PDC emulator. So what is the action function of PDC emulator. First is authenticate people or authentication, domain authentication, and second one is provide time services to all the member servers, workstations and other network devices. How he get the time, that is a different topics that I will cover you in this different chapter. NTP time services, that is a different things. But my question, what PDC do? PDC somehow get the time, any open source time engine. From there, he will send the time services to every his organizational computer. It's look like this. This is my PDC emulator, and under there is a mini servers. There is a mini servers, and this particular under this servers many workstation. Every workstation, every server have their different time zone, different jobs, something else. So my question, how they are getting time? They all are getting time from here. They all are getting time from, here, your PDC emulator. Now my question, then how PDC emulator will get the time? PDC emulator will get the time from open source engine like Google Time Server. If you have another specific open source in your infrastructure, some project have their own open source, Google Time, Yahoo Time, Rediff Time. These are the global time servers. These are the global time servers configured in our global zone, right? So even Microsoft having their own time server, MSN time servers. So general purpose, we all get PDC emulator will get the time from global time servers. How they get time? Because their registry, that particular servers was configured, through which over the internet they will sync and get the time. And same things, this machine, they are under registry, they have the PDC emulator server details and get the sync from there. So in case PDC emulator is down, what will be the impact? Who can say? In case my PDC emulator is down, what will be the impact?
All the devices in the organization will not be synced together, and the time will be different. For example, if we are running some batch files or doing some kind of application work or batch work, that will not be gonna complete on the all network devices in the connected to the same domain.
All the machines inside the forest, they are not having good time. There is a discrepancies. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, every machine having that different time, and as a result you will get the slowness in your infrastructure. All the jobs are not run independently. Everything will be a problem. Okay, so in case, so PDC emulator are very important in your forest. Next is infrastructure master. So infrastructure master is what? So this is, this is a hp.com, and inside this hp.com you have a child domain uk.hp.com. Now I need that one of the users from hp.com want to add any group which is hosted on hp.com. That means to enterprise. How come it works? From here to here will not be able to do without the help of infrastructure master. Okay, just hold on, I'm coming, 5 minutes. Okay. So, guys, now I'm just giving small example. Let's just consider this is a India and this is a Bangladesh. So any of the traveler want to travel Bangladesh, but he don't know anything about this Bangladesh map, Bangladesh geographical location, good point of tourism. So what he do? He definitely need a guidance or some partner, travel partner. So based on this partner, he get information about it. So without travel, yes.
I'm sorry, it's really very annoying, the background noise.
Yeah, hold on, just a minute. Just a minute. There's so many dogs are crowded here. Hold on. Okay, sorry. So now my question, whenever this you are traveling from one country to another country, you need a guidance or your tourism partner or tourism manager. He will guide you or tell you everything about this. Is that clear? Is that clear, right? So definitely from one domain to another domain, any users they want to add to another domain, the infrastructure master role give them the proper location of the object where this object are lying down. So if infrastructure master role is not there, you will not be able to add any user from cross domain. I will show you whenever I will create a child domain, I will show you that one of the users can able to log in, then only possible, because until and unless you that that particular rules works. Is that clear or not?
It's not properly clear. Could you please explain it again?
I am telling you there is a parent domain hp.com. Under this parent domain there is a child domain uk.hp.com. Now I am creating one user here, and that user want to add a specific groups on a which is hosted on uk.hp.com due to some reason or some access, and this is not possible until and unless these master roles to be active. Clear or not? Cross domain transaction, simple understood. Cross domain transaction, this is how infrastructure master works. Clear? Perfect. Next is RID master. What RID master works? RID means relative identifier. That means whenever any objects are creating, let's say it's a user object, or let's say it's a computer object, let's say it's kind of group object, any kind of things you are doing, every cases they need a security ID. Every cases they need a security ID. So who is going to giving them the security ID? Because as you know, whenever you are installing OS, there is also security ID there. So somehow any object you are creating, they need the security ID. So relative identifier master is issuing a security ID. Now my question, if these master roles are not reachable, will I able to create any Active Directory object? If this master role is not active, will I create any Active Directory object? Tell me guys, don't be silent.
I think no.
You are saying no. Why?
Because it's, as you said, it's a relative identifier master. So when we will create any new object, for example, we will create a new user, and then we have to give his first name, last name, and username and password. Then of course it needs to be validated or verified by the IRD master. IRD master is not.
Leave it, boss. I am not asking that part. I am asking the question: if this RID master not available, will I create any Active Directory object or not? The answer you are saying no. I am saying yes. Why? For the time being, few times we can create. You know why? Because your RID master will maintain one pool. That means in this particular pool, they already issued certain SID. Now you are creating any Active Directory objects or not, no matter, but this pool have full SID there. Now in-house, in any case, this RID master is not reachable till the time you can create the object, until and unless this pool was empty. There is another question in interview. In case my RID master server is not reachable, will I able to create any Active Directory object, yes or not? Then what will be the answer? Then what will be the answer? If
it's we can create it if it holds the enough IDs. If the ID is already used, then I think it will not.
Yes, until and unless pool is empty, you will not be able to. If the pool is empty, then you will not be able to create. That is why this was designed. So these 5 roles you know here. Now I am asking one question. Everyone should tell that answer. I don't want silence to anyone. This is very important. Among these 5 roles, which role is very, very important? Without this role, will not be able to work. Let's say 5 roles are down. Now they will ask you which role you need. And this will active, and you can at least perform your work. Which role is it?
PDC in the emulator.
Exactly.
PDC
Exactly. This is another important question in Microsoft Active Directory. Which role is more important among these all 5 roles? The answer is PDC emulator. No, why? As you know. Clear? Is that clear?
Yeah. Clear to me.
After PDC emulator, which role? After PDC emulator, which role is more important?
Schema master.
After PDC emulator, these two roles are very important, infrastructure master as well as RID master, because these two having the same functionality. Because RID, if RID is not reachable, sorry, I was wrong. After this, PDC emulator, infrastructure master is important. Why? Because in case infrastructure master is not reachable, then we will not be able to do cross forest transaction. And after that RID master, because RID master having that pool, initially if this role are not reachable, we can able to work till the pool is empty. And pool is maybe 4,000, 6,000, whatever that chamber, that's not none of the business. But initially how much we can create the AD object? Maximum 5, 4, 2, 3. In a day we can create maximum 20. In case if this any particular day it's not reachable, is this create any matter? No. I can easily create object because they have already pool. So first important role is PDC emulator, second is infrastructure master. Third one is what? Third one is domain naming master. Because without domain naming master you can create the child domain, because child domain is not my day-to-day activity. Clear? Fourth one is RID master, least important is schema master. Clear? Is that clear?
Clear to me.
Okay, so now in Active Directory object, you understood forest, you understood domain, you understood 5 FSMO roles. Now next is group. Next is group. Why I am telling you this? Before we going to practical, all this knowledge will require. That is I am telling you the theoretical part, and then I am going to show you the practical. If I not tell you the theoretical part, you will not be able to understand. Clear? So next is AD security groups. So first of all, my question, you guys sometime you have to enter the some share path, and you go in that share path, you collect the files, and you then works. My question, if any user I want to assign any share permission, what I need to do? I will assign that user in that particular share path. Let's say I'm drawing that scenario. Let's say I have a share path. That share path it look like this: 10.10.10. Sorry. Oh my God. This is my share path. 10.10.10.10 slash. Oh, hold on. So my share path it's look like slash 10.10.10.10 slash file server slash cbd slash my data. This is somehow a file, and my data it's holding a very important file. New persons have joined in your organization. That person need to access the file server. How do you give them you access? You definitely give them access in that particular share, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Now 40 user join. What you need to do? 40 user join. 40 user you have to give them same rights.
Then we need to make a group.
Huh?
Then we need to make a group, and then we can assign the rights to that group, and then we will add the user into the group.
Perfect. Absolutely correct answer. Because wow, why we not give them single rights? Because in case 40 user join, 20 left or 20 terminate, what happened? Each and every time you have to check and who is there. It's not possible, right? Then what happened? Forget about user. How many user I have, don't care. What I need to do, I will create one group, assign them and that particular share read write access. Later on, how many user have joined, I give them directly add into that particular groups. Clear or not? After whenever they leave, I will just go to that user, just go to that part. Let's go to that part. One user was there. Let me log in. Let's say there is a users. If I go to the member of, that is I can see that there is a group was there. Now the same I have added that particular user into that group, he can have access. Now that person left, what I need to do, I'll just remove that group from that particular user. That's it, my job is over. My job is over. So it's very easy to assign permission on a group. Later on you can add people inside that group or remove. Based on this nature, we have a 3 categories of group. Okay. So let's look like this. Active Directory having consists 2 kind of groups. One type of group is called security group. Another type of group is called distribution group. Now this particular group will not be our cup of tea, because this is actually work for, if you guys go for Exchange, then distribution group will work, because distributed DL creation, if you guys say your technical tower having DL, once I send mail to your DL, you will get that mail. So this is how DL distributor work mail. So this is a different part of Exchange. It will not work for you. Our concern is security groups. In this particular security groups, it's allow you a permission. Now forget about all those part. Forget about all those part. And security groups, there are 3 types.
You said 3 categories of group: security group, distribution group, and the 3rd category was?
That is the Active Directory having 2 kind of groups: security groups and distribution group. Security group using for permission, distribute group using for mail exchange. Now forget about distribution group. Now I am exploring security group types. Now security group types are 3. First one is global group. Second one is domain local. Third one is universals. Now my question, what do you mean by global group? What do you mean by domain local group? What do you mean by universal groups? So I am understanding one, I am creating one logical representation. Based on that I will give you the example and understood. So there is one of the domain here, one of the domain outside, and this is another forest. Okay. So this is my hp.com and this is my child domain. uk.hp.com. Now you have created one groups and you want to add users from here. You will not be able to do if this is a global groups. Why? Because global groups only works within the domain. If you have a single forest or single domain forest, then global group is works. Just like our state minister. Just like our state minister. That means Arvind Kejriwal, which is the chief minister of our Delhi, he cannot come in West Bengal and say our Didi that you need to do or you need to do that like that, because he is responsible for Delhi only. Am I right? But this is how global group works. Next is universal groups. Universal group is he can go anywhere, he can join any users, but within the forest. Within the forest means he can work only hp.com. That means one of the groups is hosted on here, he can viewable from there and user can also able to join there. Same things, if the group is hosted created there, user can join from there and can viewable there. Global group can be viewable there, but the user cannot be joined. And then next is domain local. Domain local what? Domain local group, we say it's a very highly secure groups. You cannot see them here. If the domain local is in hp.com, user cannot see it from there, but from this particular group can add user from there. Even this is the ibm.com. I'm telling you, this is the ibm.com. This is a different forest. Okay, ibm.com. Now HP purchase IBM, so definitely company having trust between IBM and HP. In this scenario, IBM users trying to access HP resources like some file server, application server, then IBM users can join HP groups if this group was domain local. Now who can tell me what is the difference between global group, domain local group and universal groups? If you say, then I could understood that you guys understood the properly. This is very important because interviewer asks you question: global groups, domain local groups, universal groups. Tell me. Gloria, what do you mean by global groups? What do you mean by global groups? Miraj, what do you mean by domain local?
Global group or domain group?
What do you mean by global groups?
A global group will only work within the domain. For example, if we have the hp.com, then it will be work within the domain hp.com and its subdomain. The global group only work within the domain, as you said.
Not between the domain. That is why I'm asking you the question. If you say between the domain, that is wrong. Global
Within the
groups.
domain. I said within the domain.
In the domain. Global groups
within the
can
domain.
works. Global groups can works only the domain specific groups. That means if the global group hosted in hp.com, he can only accept users from hp.coms. But that particular group can see from uk.hp.com, but he cannot accept any user from different domain. Whereas universal group is very flexible within the forest. That means any domain universal group was created can accept or add users from different domain. Even from different domain, user can see the universal group of the other domain. Now domain local is what? Domain local is very highly secure groups, and domain local cannot be seen from different domain, but domain local can add different users from different domain, even a different forest as well. If you go there in Google, just type the difference between domain local, global and all. Difference between.
So we can say just that the domain local group is highly secure and the universal group is less secure.
Exact, not less secure. Everyone is a security, but domain local.
Comparatively.
Exactly. Comparatively,
domain
domain local group cannot be seen from different domain, whereas global group, universal group will be there. You got my point? There is a difference. You can read in Google and ask the theory part. I just understand the mechanism. Theory you need to work. Now, based on this nature, we have a 3 high privileged users in Active Directory. You know, who is the first one is, this is my last part of the theory, then I'll move to the practicals. I understood that you guys feeling boring, so but I have to tell them because without theory you cannot go and implement the practicals. Okay, so my first high privilege group is domain admin. You know that. Next is enterprise admin. Third one is schema admin. So basically, you know, if you want to do any kind of jobs, then if you are part of domain admin, you can do. But do you know which type of group is this? Which type of group is this? Domain admin basically are global groups. That means, let's say I'm showing you. If you see the domain admin group now, this is your domain admin groups. If you click on it, you will see that these are global groups. So I'm here asking one question. If you have a 2 domain in your forest, how many domain admin groups are there? Gloria? If you have a 2 domain in the forest, how many domain admin group will be there?
One.
How come it 1? Gopal? How many domain admin group will be there? Just now I told. Miraj?
2.
Yes, perfectly, it's 2. Why? As I told, domain admin is the global group. So, that should be expected. If you have a hp.com, you must have 1 domain local groups, domain admin groups. If you have a UK, you must have 1 domain admin groups. Because domain admin cannot add another user from different forest, right? So, definitely it's a domain specific groups. It's having 2. Now, if I go to the enterprise admin, which type of group is this? Which type of group is this?
Universal.
Universals. Why? Because it's work beyond the domain. That means whenever we are creating child domain uk.hp.com, if the user is not the part of enterprise groups, he will not be able to create these options. Clear or not? Clear or not? Sunil, understood?
No, sir.
So next is schema admin, which is different, because schema admin is actually, if you are part of this schema admin group, then schema admin basically allow you to edit schema. I'll show you later. This is also universal groups. Okay, this is also universal group. So now guys, everything Active Directory object, roles, everything you understood. Now I'm gonna create child domain, but before that, one semi theory part is there. Let me clear that part. Now I'm just come to here, understood what is child domain. So basically this is my this is the hp.com. This is my hp.com. And why should I use child domain? Because I know my I have a additional domain controller, all I have. Then why should I need a child domain? Whenever the company were looking for franchisees, they also going with child domain concept. That means, everyone we here know the KFC, right? KFC is Kentucky Fried Chicken, which is hosted on US based company. Now in every part of the world, KFC having branch. That means there are the KFC company. No, they're franchisees. You can see, go to the South City Mall, you will see that KFC. If you go to the metropolitan malls, you will get the franchisee. If you go to Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, wherever you go, everywhere you will find a KFC. Because they have different owners, they have taken the franchises. Now, if this is a HP is the company and they want to do the business on UK, HP is a US company. You don't allow them to do their business with this international company. They have to accumulate or attach with their own national company and then start their business. In UK, HP works with Acer. Okay. In each UK, there are work with Acer, acerhp.com. Okay. So this is how you have to create your child domain. That means whenever franchisee comes into the picture, your child domain will be create different domain, but within the same forest follow the same parent name. That means acer.hp.com. So Acer is the franchisee domain name, hp.com is the parent business domain name. So this is how child domain works. While we creating the child domain, the users who is creating this hp.com must be part of enterprise domain groups. If he not the part of enterprise domain group, he will not be create that one. I'll show you that hands-on. I will not able add them into the enterprise admin. Okay, then I'll show you what having problem. Okay, let's do that practicals. So theory is done. Let me do that part. I will show you from the scratch, from since domain controller. Don't worry. Let me draw that all part of the old servers what we have created for the practical purpose. Okay. So here is my ISO image, you know already, 2012. So this is my root DC 01 where it is hosted. So I am selling into, as I always told, you use C instead of E. This is my 2 processors I need. 4 GB I have, and 40 disk. Let me create that machines. After that I will start. Okay, so my primary machine is done. So what I need to do, I'll just make it power off. Then I'll clone these machines, and my clone machine will be CDC 01, child domain controller 01. Root DC, child DC. Now I'll create the more clarity on this. Let me finish this. Let it finish, then I'll show you. Okay, so perfect. Now let me write down the FQDN, fully qualified domain name, then it will be more easier to understand. hp.com, and this will be your .uk.hp.com. Clear? Root DC 01.hp.com, cdc 01.uk.hp.com. Clear? Then I have to create the networking between them. Network vnet 0, and this is vnet 0.
If we left it as a default, it shouldn't work normally,
No.
isn't it?
No, it will create a problem. NAT is not be the solution. You have to give them same VLAN as I told you in the day one. Sometime it's work, sometime not. But you cannot do your practical based on these Fortinet, right?
Okay, because I did the in the VMware, I left it as a default, but it's working. But it's good practice to do it manually.
Okay, so now what I need to do, this machine first I have to create our hp.com. Okay. Okay, so what the prerequisites? So always I will suggest if your parent machine also you cloning the second one, you also did the CSPREV as well, because it is a very good practice. If you reset this security ID, you will have to have prompted the administrator. You got my point? And start these machines and run this spread. Why this spread? Because you have to reset their security ID, because you are cloning the systems. You have cloned that machines. If you are not reset the security ID, it will allow you create problems. So you have to disable, reset the security ID, which is very mandatory. Fine. So this machine, it's already rebooted. After that you will get prompted to give them administrator user ID and password. This machine done. Now see, administrator is enabled. Always select go with administrator. Now after that, the primary work is to go there. Computer. Sunil, whatever you have a problem, just check it here. Okay. Go to the comp mgmt.msc and always I'll tell you that users go to and delete this account. Sorry. Because this account.
That was my question here.
Sorry?
That was my question. When I created this, I did not found that the additional account as you found it here, Siddharth.
Because this is why VMware Workstation 14 here is the problem. That is why it's allow me to create the local user first.
Okay.
So then I'm just deleting these users because this is not required, I guess. If it's there, then it will kill a hell lot of problems. Okay. So done. Next is what? I'll put the second phase is provide the IP address. And this IP address could be provide and put this command 10.10 sorry. First normal IP address. After that, how will you confirm that this IP address taken or APIPA has still logged that APIPA address? Just put down the command ipconfig. That's it. Yes, it's taking, fine. No problem. Next is what? You have to go edit roles and features. From there, go to the next, and okay. But before that, you have to change the computer name. Got it? So same name you have mentioned there as I have mentioned there. Go to this properties, advanced systems, computer, and you have to mention root dc-01. That's it. Click OK. Now your name has been changed. Write down the command host name. Now see that root DC as name was there. Perfect. Let's go to the edit roles and features and install the roles, Microsoft roles, right? Which role? Active Directory Domain Services. I am going to create this as a domain controller. That is why I am installing this one. Every roles here we will discuss. Don't worry. Okay, then role installed. Now install existing role you have to configure. That's why you have to go either from there, or if you miss this wizard, no matter, you will see that there is a notifications in 2012. Okay, so click on there, and then first you do not have any domain as of now. So this is the first option, add new forest. That is my hp.com. This is GSM password that I told you. This is for this active data restoration and all those stuff. So later on I'll tell you what about it, because now it is a NetBIOS name, scanning and give you the short name. If you have a huge domain name, it will be make you short. Even as per your choice, you can ask your domain name. Instead of hp.com, you can tell, you can call them ibm.com if you mention there, no matter. The NetBIOS name is nickname of your domain. Okay. entire network devices or network will be known by this only. So in HP you can mention this HPC, okay, or HPE, HP Enterprise nowadays. Okay, so next, at the time of login now you will see that HP will come as HPE. So it's creating Active Directory database for HP.com as well as all this mandatory part he's writing. Okay, you can see that part. More installation, if you see that, if you have internet you will get to know all about this. So it's installed. Now you have to get to sign out it because your AD has been installed configured. Click on close. Okay, now first time you do not have any admin account created. Your normal administrator, build local administrator, will become a domain administrator, right? So here you see your hp.com, it's showing as HPE because NetBIOS name I was created HPE. Clear? So now first time you have to log in with this your account. Now see your Active Directory was created. If you go to there, hp.com, and it is showing as HPE over the networks. Okay, because NetBIOS name you have created intentionally. That is things. Now what I need to do, I will create one users, and that users will create the child domain, right? So as usual, I will create one users seed. And this is my UPN number, hp.com. I have a domain. And after this account was created, after this domain was created, user was created, this user is blank. Basically, he is not able to do anything. They do not have any capability. But then what you need to do, you have to add this user to the high privilege group. What are the high privilege groups? Domain admin, enterprise admin, and schema admin. And those three groups is actually part of administrator group, okay, built-in administrator. So if you go to the domain admin, he is a member of administrator, okay. If you go to the enterprise admin, he also member of administrator. Then what is the purpose of domain admin and enterprise admin? The purpose of domain admin and enterprise admin is because domain admin is the global groups, enterprise admin is the universal groups. Clear? That is the part. Both are part of built-in administrator group. Keep it in mind. So you are not be supposed to log in with your administrator. You have to create one users and give them proper rights like domain admin. You have to go to the member, select the user, go to the member and select them domain admin. Then is the user part of this domain admin groups. Click apply, OK. Perfect. Now you are going to create second domain, that is your uk.com. Just listen one thing. While you create the second domain, there is a good practice. You have to bring that child domain machines to the parent domain as well. Okay. So for that only, I'll just go to that domain and I will join this domain to the hp.com domain. Why? As a member server. From there I will create the different domain, right? Okay, so my child domain is created, machine is running. As usual, what I need to do, I will just go to the ncpa.cpl. Here I am telling you one thing. While you do the IP address, now you are entering your machine, you are joining this machine to the hp.com. So definitely HP DNS is required. So IP will be the same range 10.10.10.11. and this DNS will be your hp.com DC IP address. If you are not give them IP address, you will not be able to add this server into the domain. Okay, the reason I am telling you the last day. Why we have given the DNS? If you are not giving the DNS, domain will simply deny you. And then as usual, you have to disable the firewall. As usual, disable the firewall. From there you also disable the firewall. Okay, now you will see that you can easily join to the domain. Now here you change your domain machine name cdc-01 and domain is hp.com. It's a good practice. Now after that they will prompt you. If you have a DNS problem, you will get to error. Okay. So here you will put your IP address, user that was said. Now SID, it's still working because this machine is still in the hp.com. Now whenever you are creating beyond the enterprise powers, it will not work. We'll say welcome to hp.com. Fine, it's done. This machine is joined the hp.com. If you see restart now, I can see that machine is now hp.com AD. If you go to the computer, you'll see that CDC is part of my domain. From there, I will promote this machine to another domain in the forest. You got my point? Which domain? uk.hp.com. So UK is my domain and following the parent domain name, right? Perfect. So next is what? Next I have to log in with SID. SID will be creating this enterprise part. Perfect. Now I will just add them rules, add rules and features. Now as it is, same things you will do. Active Directory, domain services. Perfect. Then what I need to do, as I told, from here you can do, from notification bar also you can do. Now this time, what you are going to create, add a new domain to an existing forest. Your existing forest name is HP, and new domain name is UK. Okay? UK. Now, who is promote this domain? SID. If I click on next, you will get an error. Now tell me, what is the error? Why this error is happening? Who can tell me? Just check your IQ knowledge. Could not log into the domain. Why this error message showing?
Because it is the domain admin, and we are trying to access the resources of the root domain admin.
Sorry?
So it needs to be make the enterprise domain.
Exactly.
Enterprise.
Good. Very good. So SID will part of enterprise admin. Once I did this, now I have to get log of log on. Okay, because until you do, it will not work. Okay, so as usual, you have to do log of and then log in. Now we will do the same things from here. Go to that part, promote domain controller, and this time second options, and the domain name is UK. That's it. Just see that the error gone. Now you understood what is the difference between enterprise admin and domain admin. It is a part of interview question. They will ask you, what do you mean by enterprise admin and what do you mean by domain admin? The answer is both a group are member of administrator group. The difference is enterprise admin is the universal groups and domain admin is the global groups, and that is the reason domain admin works in the within a forest within a domain, and enterprise work within a forest any domain. Clear? Click on next. Now your child domain completed successfully. It's doing prerequisite check and then go for installations. Install successfully. Now I am telling you, in this between two domain, they will not create any replication. That means synchronization not work. They will connect it through a trust. Which kind of trust? It's called parent-child trust. It's called, the trust is called parent-child trust. We have a trust of very good topic. We have a trust. I will tell you that is not actual, but this is connected through a trust, and this is a different domain within a forest. This users will not be replicated. Now I am telling you that 5 roles, right? 5 roles I told you. That 5 roles is hosted here in this machine, this domain hp.com, sr.hp.com. We have only 3 roles. I'll show you. Let's log in this. Okay, now I'll show you dsa.msc. Which domain you are showing? uk.hp.com. Okay. Which domain you are showing? hp.com. So child domain was created. Now guys, I will run this command netdom query fsmo. Sorry, that was wrong. You see schema master, domain naming master showing on which DC? Which DC?
Root.
Root.
Root DC.
Rest of?
Child DC.
Yes. If you go there and do the same command, you will see that all 5 rows will be there. netdom query fsmo. All 5 rows will be there. Root DC. I hope you enjoy the classes. Next is what? That's I have a user set and I want to add them into a resource which is lying on child domain. Let's say I have created one groups. Which groups? Global groups. As I told, global groups can't accept user from different domain. So create one groups, that means global groups. And now this global group, if I add users, member of, add location, I can see only hp.com, no uk.hp.com, no hp.com, because it's not allow me to add that, right? Fine, so I am not able to add seat. So what happened if I make them universal? What happened? From global to domain local not possible, global to universal possible. Okay. If I give them universal, same thing I will do. Go to the members, ads, locations. Now we'll see that hp.com there. Now you can see the hp.com there. Now from there you can add seed. So just select the entire directory and then start seed. Seed is there. Seed can add. Now you'll see that from which user seed? Seed are from hp.com. We have added in this particular. Go to the properties, universal groups. Now what happen if I create one domain local groups? Okay, so okay, let's create the domain local group on root. Okay, now create one domain local group on root. New group DC group. Okay, DC group was created. Now I'll create one users in CDC child domain. Sorry, username is Miraj. Right, Miraj was created. Now I will add Miraj into the domain local groups. So I'll be go to the member of, I will search that groups. It's showing me or not. Let's see. It's not showing me. Then what I need to do? What happened? Who is telling? Okay guys, I'm showing you one thing. That person's, his name was okay, just showing you. That person's was from, I think, some basically was some different technology. He comes to me so far, give me create my CV for Azure, so that if I get job in Azure I will give to you. I said I don't need any gift. So see, he said got offer, small kind of, he asked me, hi brother, how are you, can you give me your address, got offer, small kind of gift I want, give, if you okay I will send you GPay. Anyway, so fine, it's really nice. That's person's having good offer. Anyway, If I've created that CV, then I was created his CV.
Yeah, congratulations to him from my side.
I was created that person's CV because this person was CV was ordinary. He is doing data entry kind of jobs, and I will create his CV like that. And after that, that person was selected some other MNCs and all, I don't know. Anyway, that's good. Okay, fine. So now let's start the DC group, right? What we have created the group name? It's DC group. Okay, so let's search DC group. Okay, do one thing, maintain here, DC group. Fine now, yes. Now I can add here, but I cannot show until once I get search, then only allow me. Now Miraj is a member of, cannot see there, DC group not showing there, but he is a member of, right? If you go to there, DC group, you will see that Miraj was there. Miraj was there. That is why I am telling you it's a highly secure groups. Clear? So guys, today what we have learned, summarize. Today we have learned Active Directory objects. We have understood container object, we have understood leave object, we have understood FSMO roles, we have understood child domain controller, we have understood role transfers, sorry, not role transfer, we have understood, child domain promotion, child domain creations and group creations and all these stuff. So I hope you enjoy that. Any question, please ask.
I have a request to you.
Sorry?
I have a request.
Yes, please.
So, when you start the recording of the session, so could you please mention the topic as you wrote today, the topic name, I mean lecture name. So if you wrote the topic, it will be easy for us later on when if we found some kind of difficulty, so we can go through directly the starting seconds of the video and
Sure.
this. So it will be easy for us to search.
Sure, definitely. Actually, while I am creating record, I was forget. No problem. Next time onwards, give me a notification. I'll definitely do that. I will, by pipelining, I will create what the topic will cover today, entire the session. Clear? So, one person have joined today. Let me introduce himself. His name is Subro Varun Datta, and he was very much experienced guy. And recently, he in Kolkata. Earlier is in Bangalore, Capgemini, Accenture. So now he's wanted to decide his career to go with an advanced technologies of Active Directory. Now he have joined our courses. So we all help to him in order to get any kind of job opportunities in our hands. So definitely we'll forward, because today one person, I mentioned there, one person was get call from Accenture. His name is Muhammad. Even he also selected the first round of interview. Next round interviews on Monday. If I select it, he will get at least 6.5 lakhs per annum. The location was in Bangalore, and call I was initiated from Accenture. So I hope you will all guys get the good opportunities, but definitely opportunity will come. Okay, ask me question.
Thank you, Siddharth. This is a very good class. When I just watching on the start books. Okay, so it's a very good thing. Okay, so just keeping on that, I'll complete with. I'll continue with later. Okay. So
Definitely, we all are there. Will give you a hands. Because in our group are always in warm, people are always poke each other. We'll always discuss about the technicals, opportunities. Definitely, we all are here because definitely that's because we are learning here to get the earning, right? So, but everyone, I'm telling you, earning come later. First, go for the excellence. If you have a good knowledge, job will come and money will come. Then no matter. Okay, because enterprise are looking for a gem and they can spend many lakhs. Even you don't know. People sitting in Calcutta can even get 18 lakhs per annum, 22 lakhs per annum, 35 lakhs per annum. This is our Active Directory and Azure Active Directory. Highly demanding course nowadays. Okay, so
Sid, I I have a question. Like I know the Active Directory of Azure, so I did little bit task over there. But the interface of Active Directory is completely different from the on-premises Active Directory.
Sorry.
The Active Directory interface of Azure is completely different from the interface of on-premises Active Directory.
Yeah, that is why, because even Active Directory, Azure Active Directory, this is a complete different structure. Active Directory on-premise is a directory structure, and this is a flat structure. That's what we call Azure Active Directory as a tenant, multi-tenant. In Active Directory, we can hold in a single domain, whereas in Azure Active Directory, you can host it many tenants. Like HP.com, I can host it IBM.com, I can host it Accenture.com, I can host it Capgemini.com. Many domain I can host it. But that applications, if you are hosted the application over the cloud, you definitely have the Azure Active Directory. And also, it has to be synced your on-prem users. Otherwise, you will not be supposed to be created any users, because many technologies will be coming there, right? Many technologies like an Office Exchange, Teams, Microsoft Teams, Intunes, everything they need Azure as well as Active Directory. Whenever any company established, let's say any company, let's say in hotel, let's say any manufacturing company, let's say a thermal power company, any company, they first have to create their domain. They first have to create their domain. Then they have to install Exchange. Then they have to go for Azure subscription. Then they have to go for Office 365 licensing and Teams. This is called enterprise model. So if you guys make your hands on this kind of root technologies, just fly away yourself. Go away. Nothing, no one can stop you. VMware, Hyper-V, this all other the tactical technologies which is come later on, but these are the core part, will never die. So try to inject yourself on this particular technology, will really help you. And now you see the demand is, because see, one of a single month, how many job I post in the group, how many jobs, you will see the many of them, you will see that last time I posted HCL Technologies, last time I posted Infosys. All of them are looking for AD guy. Okay guys, happy weekend everyone. Stay healthy and stay safe. And keep watch the video and come back for the practical. No one, please, I'm requesting everyone. I know you are busy with your jobs, but do practice. You can practice your systems as well. Or if your system is not capable, comes to me. I will give you the practicals. Don't worry, but do your hands-on. Okay guys, if you have any question, ask me, or else I will end my session and send you the video over this Google Drive.
Is this
Sorry?
is system available for tomorrow? I have an off, so I can practice.
Tomorrow. So tomorrow actually. See, tomorrow I'm telling you, Sunday I'll leave 1 p.m. onwards, okay? Because I have to leave my family for family. Every Sunday I'll not be available after 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. After 6 p.m. After 6:30 I will back. So if you take, actually Gloria is already using this, okay? In this time. So better you do on Monday or to Friday 2 p.m. or 2:30 p.m. onwards, okay? Everyone I'm requesting, Chetan, Gopal, all listen, please come and do your practicals, okay? Okay guys, goodbye. Keep in touch in WhatsApp. Any doubts, I will also available. I'll help you guys. Bye.
Thank you.